Welcome everybody to a new episode of Daydream Legend. Sorry, I'm a day late. I've been trying to get these out on Monday, but Monday in New Jersey or the East Coast, I don't know how far it stretched, but it was like 75 degrees. And I decided I am not going to sit in my studio and record. I want to be outside with my dog. So we went on an extra long hike and, just enjoyed the day. I figured, it's not like everyone's waiting on this. Like, we need to know on Monday what Joe has to say. But we're here. It's election day. Do I have my sticker? See, I got the I voted sticker. They stuck it on me. Whatever. I know people think that's stupid, but whatever. I'm glad I voted. I hope you voted. I just vote. I'm just glad. I'm just happy to stop getting these ads on my phone, like text messages. I don't know how these people get my number, who sold it to them, but it's quite annoying. But before we get into the podcast, let me just say, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Joe Fernandes to watch the video, or you can watch the video on the Spotify app. Wherever you listen, subscribe. And if you're subscribing on the video end, subscribe on the audio end, and vice versa. Just help me get my numbers up. That's it. If you want to call into the show to leave me a message for a future episode, the number is 973-908-8477. It's anonymous. I won't know who you are unless you tell me. You can send a text message to that number as well. Or some people send me voicemails, or like I got this week, I got sent an audio clip. So you can record an audio clip and send it to that number. Or if you're on the Anchor app, if you listen on the Anchor app, you can actually record and send a message to me right on there, which is pretty cool. And go listen on the Anchor app too. If you haven't picked an app you listen to me on yet, the Anchor app actually pays me for ads. So if you use them, they throw me like a penny. So, not life-changing money, but it's money. And speaking of life-changing money, nobody won the Powerball last night because the Powerball, I believe, had technical difficulties. When the hell was the last time that happened? Lottery, technical difficulties, Powerball. Let me get that news story. Yeah, tonight's drawing was delayed due to a participating lottery needing extra time to complete the required security protocols. It sounds like something schmarmy's happening. I don't like to be a conspiracy theorist, but sounds like something schmarmy. Security protocols. Sounds like the person who they were hoping to win didn't win.
And now, the news.
Happy Election Day. I can't wait until the end of today when some side wins and the other side says democracy's over, we're doomed. Listen, I know I said I never want to talk politics on this podcast, and maybe that was too much of a broad thing because I guess I don't mind politics. I just hate when it turns into just nonsense. But I guess on Election Day, I could just say that I'm very... It's so predictable what's going to happen on my social media feed. Whoever loses, they're going to say the other one stole it. And we're acting like that's like a new thing. Like they're saying there's a lot of election deniers running this year, which is weird because if you're an election denier, if you don't believe elections are real, why would you participate in such an event if you don't think it's on the up and up? You would think you wouldn't put yourself through that. But we all know that it's just a convenient way to get out of a convenient way to save face while losing. Well, I lost, so it must be rigged. Which, we all know politicians are the most ego-inflated people in the world. But to think, man, if I don't win, it must have been fixed. That's like a whole another level of narcissistic behavior. But the Democrats are just as bad. I remember when, what was it, George Bush and what's his face, the climate change guy, Al Gore. Yeah. Democrats thought that was stolen. There was schmarminess going on there. When Hillary supposedly beat Bernie Sanders in the primary, apparently people believe there was schmarminess there. Whoever loses feels that there's schmarminess. And to be honest, and I know, listen, I have a lot of Democratic friends, but it's true. If we're going to measure, if we're going to even the playing field, just say like the way things used to be, not like the way things are now, like total crazy, but you got to lean that the Democrats are more schmarmy when it comes to elections. Only like if you look at the primary process. Now, the primary process, now there's probably some people that know more about this than me that could be listening to this saying, Joe, you're an idiot, but I think I got a basic thing right. Democrats, unlike Republicans, have something called a super delegate. And that is like a trump card, no pun intended. It's a card they use when they don't like the candidate that the people picked in the primary. They're like, well, the super delegate is going to change your vote. So just the mere existence of a super delegate shows that you don't totally love democracy, that you don't really want the will of the people because you don't trust the will of the people, or you would not even have a super delegate. It would not even exist. Delegates wouldn't exist. You would just count the votes and go with the primary. But now everybody wants control. It's all the wealthy people wanting control. And that's why I vote. I do vote. I don't tell people who I vote for. Most people think I vote Democrat, but I voted both. I never say what I voted because I think we need to go back to the old days where you don't know what button I pressed. Because tonight, someone's going to claim victory, and then someone's going to say, like if the Republicans win, they'll be like, oh, you voted for racist. Everybody likes to label everybody everything. And it's like, I know we'll never get back to that time, but it's like, wow, I didn't never remember a time where family members and friends fought that much about this horse crap. Because it's just, all they do is fear monger. That's all they do, both sides. Like, this is the end of democracy. You're voting to save democracy. It's like, shut up. Someone's going to win. You guys are going to blah, blah, blah for the next couple of years. And then it's going to same thing. No, this is the most important one of your life. It's the most important one of your life. It's going to say. Anyway, see, this is why I don't like to talk politics on the podcast, because even I feel like I sound like an idiot, and I'm done. Just go vote for whoever the hell you want and accept the consequences. I know you won't be happy with if the other side wins, but just accept it and move on and go hang out with your friends and family and enjoy whatever time you have left on this planet, because you ain't saving it either way with your little vote. None of these people care about you. None of them.
Entertainment. News.
All right, and sad news this week. Aaron Carter passed away, which believed to be a drug overdose, found in his bathtub, 34 years old, I believe. And listen, man, I say what you want about the kid. Kid, 34, he's a man, but like, we all know him as a child star. And listen, man, I'll put myself in one of the groups that used to make fun of him, like when you used to see these crazy rambling videos of him showing up in your news feed, or getting tattoos on his face. And it was like you make fun of him, but like, it was sad, man. It's so sad to watch these child stars just disintegrate. And that's what listen, man, say what you want. Yes, the dude had addiction. He had mental illness, but I believe it was all brought on by a kid. This child stardom is not good for kids, man. These parents sell these kids' lives for a lottery ticket. And and it seems good at the time. It always seems good at the time. The kid's making millions and on top of the world. But does it really ever work out? I mean, like, think like Corey Haim, like, it messed him up. I mean, Corey Feldman, I mean, that guy's like, was on Good Morning America with his weird band. People were just making fun of him. And that's what happens. Even if you survive your child stardom like Corey Feldman did, you're telling me they invited him on that morning show because they thought his music was good? Hell no. They knew that it was going to be so weird that was going to get them clicks on YouTube. They were just using him the way the industry has used him since he was a child. And that's what I mean, I feel bad for these kids. Aaron Carter should, he made 200 million, they said, at the height of his fame. 200 million. You know who stole it? His parents. His parents and his manager. They never paid his taxes. Like, apparently there's some law in California, you're supposed to put like a certain amount of money aside for child actors. And they did all that, but without paying his taxes. So the dude just like lost tons of money. And I'll tell you, the real disease besides addiction and the mental illness is that fame. Fame kills. Listen, I've seen it affect people on low levels of fame. Like people that I know in my level of comedy world, where they mentally can't take like when things aren't working out for them career wise. It's like being on stage performing is an addictive thing, and I think it has withdrawal just like any other drug. I would say this to people and they're like, nah, dude, nah, I'm just an artist. I like performing. No, you like the accolades. We all do. There's something wrong in all of us to want to go on stage and perform in front of a room full of strangers, whether it be a singer, a comedian, an actor. I've met them all. They're all weird. They're all narcissistic. They're all needy. It's just there's different degrees of it. There's different degrees. I have it. It's in me too. Listen, I like the accolade. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel good when a room full of people think what I do is the shit. But it's not healthy for me. It's healthy a little bit. And I only know it's not healthy for me. You know what it is? It could be healthy, but you got to keep yourself in check. I remember a time when it was like it could really affect my emotions, where like almost like I judged my happiness on how full my schedule was, or like how good of gigs I was getting. And I'm like, this isn't who, like, and it brought me a lot of depression. And I've seen friends get that. Sometimes they're not honest with themselves, but I've seen them. So that's on them. But when I'm talking about me with it, think about this is like the smallest level of entertainment. Like I am like on the lowest form of entertainment. I'm like I'm what you consider a regional comedian at best, mostly a local, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania comedian. No, like I travel mostly those states, and I've had those mental problems. You know what I mean? Like with the low career trajectory that I've had, I couldn't imagine having a life where you're making hundreds of millions of dollars, probably getting all the women you want, going to all the great parties, just being on every show. Like that's got to be otherworldly intoxicating. As an adult, I couldn't imagine going through that. What was he, 9? I think his career was peaking at like 14 or 16. That's like when it started going down. It's like, are you kidding me? You think a guy like that's going to handle that and come out good? I mean, if you know of one that started that young and reached that heights that came out good, send me a message with their name, because I can't think of any. If you just do quick Google searches, most of them are messed up. Most of them. I mean, and that's the thing about like the whole entertainment industry. They just like eat you up, take you for what you have, and then spit you out. And I don't know, you know what it is? It just, I felt bad for this kid. I really did. I felt bad for this kid. I have no idea what he went through. I have no idea what the level of fame he went with, but I do understand mental illness and my mental illness and my addictive qualities for attention and for, for even doing stuff like this. And I just feel it's got to be soul crushing. It had to be soul. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen shows with him on it when things will come through TikTok with him like having like some manic episode or tweaking on something, getting his face tattoos. And I'm like, man, this is heartbreaking. But the most heartbreaking part of it is he has a 1-year-old child that now has to live without a father. But I guess, based on what I've read, there wasn't much, I don't know. Like, you don't want to say the kid's better off, but if his dad was going on that trajectory, then who knows what could happen. But that's all I wanted to say about that. It's a sad thing. And I don't know. I feel like It'll never happen, but I feel like we need to stop. Just, I don't know. Is there a way to have a kid be famous and not turn out messed up? I don't think it is. I don't think there is, but a weird story that came out of all that, though, was conspiracy theorists are like hilarious. Now, online, I think the last tweet that Aaron Carter put out was to Kanye West. He said, yo, Kanye, let's talk man to man. Then, I think it was like the next day. Let's see. One day later, he's found dead in the bathtub. Conspiracy theorists think there's a connection between him tweeting to Kanye and then him winding up dead. Apparently, there's a video of him talking. Let me see if we can play this about it. This is Aaron Carter. Aaron Carter giving his thoughts on Kanye West.
Like, what the fuck is he doing? Because I'm like, bro, like, seriously? Like, you stupid as fuck. You're a broke ass boy.
Well, he has many hundreds of millions of dollars,
I don't give a
right?
fuck.
All right. Not the most intellectual discussion on it. So, but fans think that Kanye West has had something to do with Aaron Carter's death. And that's where we're at as a people. And these are the people that are voting in today's election, too. Like this person put, so are we not going to talk about how Aaron Carter was trying to reach out to Kanye West and he's dead a day later? On top of that, I'm not even going to read what this guy said because I'm not taking part in his anti-Semitic stuff. But let's just say that the crazy internet people believe both either Kanye or Jewish people have had a hand in Aaron Carter's death. I think we're all just way too pilled up in this country. This has to be it. The internet has really destroyed humanity. That is the real killer here. Fame, the internet, all that is bad for us. We need to go back to caveman times, I think, to even become normal people again. This other person put, when Kanye West speaks out about CIA handlers in Hollywood, Aaron Carter reaches out to Ye, I don't know, to talk. Next day ends up dead. So the child celebrity that probably was groomed and MK'd at a young age doesn't get to tell his story. How convenient. That's another thing, too. Hollywood's creepy with these young kids. That's why they're also probably messed up. Just like Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, I bet Aaron Carter had some weird Hollywood pedophiles doing whack stuff to him to get roles and albums made. But there we have it. I guess it's time will tell. Did Kanye West have a hand in killing Aaron Carter? Stay tuned.
We'll be right back after these important messages.
Real quick, a little promo in the middle of the show. If you go to Facebook and search out, I have a fan page called Comedian Joe Fernandes. I set it up years ago, but they're actually starting to pay me for posting, which is awesome. And they're giving me the option to, there's like this thing where I can re-release my web series, I Don't Know Joe, on Facebook. So I'm going to do that. It's going to come out every day for a week. One episode a day, every day, starting, I believe, on the 13th. It's 7 p.m. every day, new episode. Even if you saw it already, go watch it. And there's this new aspect of Facebook that they gave me called stars. And if you click the star, it's kind of like where you like it, or it's like you can, like it or comment. Then above that, there's something called stars. Somebody gave me one already. It gives me 99 cents if you hit the star. You can give me 99 cents. They can't give the whole $1. Fine. I think you can make the star worth anything you want, but the basic one is 99 cents. So if you watch each episode and hit 1 star on each episode every day, I'll make $7. So I put it up for free on YouTube, not expecting to make any money. So I'm putting it up on Facebook starting next week. Every day you can hit that star button and give me 99 cents. You give me $2, whatever you want. But throw me a star. Maybe I can get some of that money back from that web series, and we'll see what happens. So there you go. Go to Comedian Joe Fernandes on Facebook. Rewatch I Don't Know Joe web series, or watch it for the first time if you haven't seen it yet. And that's that.
New messages.
Hey, Joe. How goes it? It's Kyle again. Yeah, I just wanted to weigh in on the conversation from last week and even a little bit back with the heckler with the comedian. Why is everybody so sensitive? That's I feel the problem. You know, why you can't have culture costumes, as you put it. And I think it's fucking ridiculous. But, you know, why can't you just go as what you want? I mean, everybody can be what they want today. Why can't you dress like you want? Let me know what you think. Also wanted to ask you a personal question. What'd you think of the movie The Dirt? You know, the Motley Crue movie. All right, man. Looking forward to hearing. Later.
All right. Thanks, Kyle. Thanks for calling. I appreciate it. Let's see. He wanted to... So he had a few things. The heckler story, why people are so sensitive, the costumes. Yeah, we talked about those things. Like, why are people so sensitive at comedy shows? Like I said that last episode, I believe it's performative. These people are performing themselves. Or maybe not. You know what? Let's think about it. I do believe a lot of times, especially on social media, people are performing when they say they're too sensitive about something, or when they shoot something down. When someone's live, you definitely hit I think if someone in the audience gets to the point where they're throwing something at you, that may not be performative. That possibly could be a real emotion that you brought out in them, brought out in their psychopath behavior. If you say something and someone throws something at you, what brought that person to be that sensitive? And that's where I think the same BS that's going on with this election, riling people up, making people, like, dividing people. It's just, this is the thing that politicians are doing to win, that I don't think they understand the full scope of their power. Both sides, whether you want to make people seem like they're racist, or whether the other side, the Republican side, or whatever you want to call them, I don't even know if they're Republicans anymore, there's something, believing that all those people are out to get them. It all goes back to the politicians. It is. Because regular people don't really care about this stuff until you put it, like, people with agendas put it in their face. I think we have to stop making villains out of everybody who don't live the way we live. Why can't we just you know what the problem is? I think in this country, people want others to accept things immediately, without any, like, time, or we don't allow evolution anymore. We don't want things to take 10, 15, 20, 50 years to change. We want change immediately. And when we don't have change immediately, those are the villains. And I think it's that type of behavior that's pitting people against each other. So how does that lead to someone being sensitive in a comedy club? I think we're just brought to this hypersensitivity because that's all our lives are involved with. So you hear code words. Like, there's code words that you hear that set people off. Like, if you do anything anti-Trump, it's like, even if it's funny, it's like, no, you are attacking our guy. I will not laugh at that. Or, like, you see it on stage with comedians. Say you bring up a very delicate issue like transgender, anything in a trans community is very delicate now. So you can almost feel like even the broaching of the topic, some audiences like, and then like you have to, like, thread a needle to, like, get them to accept it, which is fine, which is, like, part of being creative. Like, you know, if it wasn't threading the needle, it would be like low hanging fruit, easy jokes that anybody can do. So there's got to be some sort of danger there to, I believe, to find originality. Like you have to have some sort of like, I may cross a line. But today, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't in the past, but all I know is about today is they don't even want to give you the option to cross the line. Like they want to, like if you cross the line and it don't work, then you're evil. Which is the most, I still don't understand that. I just see, it's hard for me to put my mind in the mindset of people who I think are crazy. You know what I mean? Like you're at a show, especially a comedy show. Can we just accept the fact that you may hear inappropriate stuff at comedy shows? Maybe not, or do some research. Especially if you're sensitive. If you're listen, I'm a sensitive person. I'm sensitive about certain things. And that's why I stay away from things that hurt me or that potentially can hurt me. It's survival. And if I decide I'm going to do these things, I have to not be so sensitive. You know, isn't that like part of growing up? Like you're sensitive as a kid, and then you learn, you get beaten, you learn, and then your sensitivity, you like cauterize it. I find adults like my age, and actually, I don't see a lot of my generation, not to prop up Generation X, but I don't see a lot of ultra sensitive. I mean, there's a few like I went to high school with that are on my Facebook that are just whiny. Like there's just one dude I went to high school with. All he does is whine about politics and whine about people, while simultaneously calling them like pieces of shit and garbage. And the way this guy talks online, like I bet everybody, even people that are close to him, want to punch him. I just believe he's mentally ill, and that's where his sensitivity comes from. So why are people, listen, I think people have always been sensitive, but I think people used to be more adult about it back in the day. It goes back to what everyone always says. Social media has killed society. It's been good for society, but it's also made us sensitive people because you get something out of it. Like when you're worked up about something, that feels good. If you're passionate about something, but is it real? Is it real? Do you really feel that way? Like I never, like I said, I probably said this before. I could be repeating myself. I don't know. But I don't believe people. Like if I say something offensive or a comic says something offensive on stage, and it's about you personally, I have every right to be offended. What I can't, or even if it's like has to do, say it's like, I don't know, you're making fun of an illness or something that like a family member of yours has, you could be sensitive to the subject, but it's not really about you or them. I could see you feeling sensitive, but the acting sensitive and making it about you, that's where you can't do that. That's childlike behavior. But the worst people are when they're offended on behalf of somebody. Like they always have that term punching down. You shouldn't punch down in comedy. You should only punch up. And it's like, first off, comedy, this is not something I made up, it's something I heard. Comedy's all punching. We're punching everybody. And you're just punching. You're punching. All we're trying to do is make laughs. Probably why it's called a punchline. You know what I mean? We're punching up, down. And I never make fun of, like, put it this way, I'll tell you my intentions. I know my intentions. You can't, that's another thing. People like to tell people what their intentions were. Like they know. They don't know. My intentions when I'm on stage is to make people laugh. And comedy, there's always somebody being made fun of, someone the brunt of the joke, someone being punched at. I never think of people less than me. You're the one that says things like that. Like when you say, like say I joke about a transgender community, they're like, you're punching down. That's you putting them down there. I didn't. You did. Now, if a transgender person came to me and said, that joke you did, it kind of hurt my feelings, I will accept that from a transgender person who heard me say that joke in context at a show, because you have a connection to what I said. And I would even welcome that. I'm not saying that I will not do it again, but I would like to have a discussion with you and let you know where I was coming from, so you know my intent was not to hurt. And maybe if we talk about it, I can make that joke so you do laugh at it. Because that's my goal. I'm not here to be hurting people. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you have to allow the comedian the leeway to find the funny. It may not always be, but like the funniest thing is right there. It's always right there on the edge of insulting almost. But like I said, the person has to be insulted I'm talking about, not some other. That, to me, you are a phony person if you're like, you're not transgender, you have no transgender people in your family, but you're offended on behalf of them. You are self-centered. You're making it about you because these are probably the same type of people that like take selfies with like their dying relatives, be like, thoughts and prayers. It's like, oh, you're taking a selfie with your dying relative? Can we make this more about you? You thirsty, thirsty people, man. Anyway, I think it's performative, a lot of the sensitivity, but I don't know how we're going to get away from it. I just don't. I just think you just got to do it anyway. And it's the politicians, man. It's anyone involved in politics that puts out propaganda trying to make the other side evil. You're all to blame. You're all to blame. And you're not any better if you're a liberal. You're not doing it for the good cause. You're doing it because you're self-centered and you want to win, and you want to, and the way to do that is to make people look evil, and you're riling up your people. That's why they go throw, would the girls like throw paint on like on a very pricey painting in some art gallery or something to protest, or she glued her hand to it. Like, what are you, a maniac? You think that's going to change anything? Look at me. Look what I did. I ruined artwork to make a point. Ooh. Get a hold of yourself. Get a hold of yourself. You know what I mean? Why don't you actually go help a person in the world, like a homeless person? You know what I mean? If you're so offended. You know, comedians are easy targets because there's no blowback for you. You can go after an entertainer because why don't you go after someone that's really causing problems in this world, like a politician? Why don't you go after them? Not physically. I don't think you should do that either, but challenge them. Okay. Just all right. Sorry, I got off on a tangent. I hope that answered that. As far as the Halloween costumes, yeah, we talked about that last week. I mean, again, I don't know. You know what? I don't know. I have to sit down with people from those nationalities and see if Halloween is the problem. If you can show me groups of people from that are typical Halloween costumes, like if you could show me people whose nationalities are typically used in Halloween costumes and they're offended by it, and they can make their case, I'll believe it. Excluding blackface, we all know that's bad. We've all established that's bad. That's fine. I just think it's, again, performative art. It's politics and social issues. A lot of it's too performative, and I think what I think you do is you're watering down your mission because people don't buy it no more because you're so performative about everything that nobody believes anything. Nobody believes you're genuine. That's the problem. That's the problem. We need genuine people. We need people to be genuine, and then maybe things will change. And I'm trying to think. Oh, he asked me what I thought of the movie The Dirt. Motley Crue's The Dirt. I thought, here's the thing. It was definitely campy. It was kind of corny, but I see when you read the book The Dirt, it was like raunchy. It was exciting. See, I would have personally preferred to have a documentary, The Dirt, where like we had like old photos and like, maybe old VHS clips, like just to see that time and have them really tell it. Cause I don't know, biopics about musicians or sports, about athletes, they're never great because you can't tell the story. It's like, you can't tell the whole story in like a narrative form like that. I mean, Motley Crue's got Tommy Lee, Nikki Sixx, Vince Neil, Mick Mars, these 4 members that they probably each individually can have a movie about them. I mean, these are rock stars in the 80s and like the hair metal decade. You always got to think of things that like they maybe, there's always got to be something they probably wouldn't even tell. You know what I mean? Like we would never know that, but the book was amazing. That's like I think I want to listen to the audiobook of that. Because that was a fun read. I imagine the listen would be better, but the movie was okay. I just always feel like everyone liked the Queen movie, but I thought the Queen movie was just like kind of like, I don't know, kind of corny too. And then it just ended with a concert, which was nice, but it didn't really like give me much. I'm trying to think of a biopic that really worked for me. The Johnny Cash one worked great for some reasons. Maybe because I didn't really know a lot about Johnny Cash. What was that? Walk the Line. So I was like a real movie. Wasn't in, but Motley Crue was like a band I came up with. So I just feel like they kind of did it on too much of a corny way, but they could have been what they were going for. Campy. I did like it. I remember watching it saying I did like it. I wish it could have been this, but ain't that a lot of times with a lot of movies, you're like, I liked it, but I wish they did this. You say that mostly with biopics because you know the story, so you wish it was told another way. When it's just a regular narrative story, you just get the story. That's the first time, so you accept it for what it is. But you always have ways you would change.
All good things must come to an end.
That's this week's podcast, everybody. I hope it was good and not too rambly. I tried to bang this out. Sorry it's a day late, but the weather's been good. And just to give you an update, I had to drop off my corgi at the doctor's today for his like in-depth eye exams for his cataract surgery, and it is heartbreaking to leave your dog and have to come home. I like to sit there with him through his procedures, but he had to be there from 8 a.m. till about 1 p.m. today. So I've been a little off mentally because, you just worry about him. He's family. So he gave me a look when he was leaving, like, this is what you're doing to me. This is how it is. We were having a nice morning. Both were having great breakfast, went for a nice walk, and this is where you leave me with these strangers. And so I've been heartbroken since I left them. So go ahead and make fun of me if you want, but that's how I feel about my dog. So I've been mentally out of it, but I got through this podcast. So anyway, thanks for checking it out. If you want to call in and leave a voice message or a text message, the number is 973-908-8477. And go to youtube.com/Joe Fernandes to subscribe. Go to any audio podcasting platforms you use and subscribe there. And go to joefernandez.net. I have some stand-up dates posted there. I have some more coming up, and I hope to see you at one of them. So thanks for supporting me, and I'll see you guys next week.